Since a bat in an evergreen boat can crash the economy, what will crash it next? Probably something dumb like a PNG file. Original poster replies. Speaking of that, what the F were NFTs? Some artist grabs a bunch of paint and a piece of paper and makes a pretty painting. Rich dude says, I'd like to buy your painting for $11 jillion, for art appreciation, and artist dude says nice and rich guy says nice and it's all really nice. But paint costs like $5 a tube. Crap's expensive, yo. So some other artist grabs a Wacom tablet pen in Photoshop and makes a pretty painting. Says to the rich dude, hey rich dude, you want to buy my painting for $11 jillion? For art appreciation and? Rich dude says, sorry man, I don't see how I can own this. JPEG. Digital artist feels effed. So the artist goes and talks to the Bitcoin boys. The Bitcoin boys are like, yeah, we can make your JPEG have sex with a Bitcoin, so then it's a thing that rich dudes can buy and sell for $1 jillion. Bitcoin boys wave their magic blockchain wands on the JPEG and now it's the only JPEG like that in the world and the rich dude buys it. Digital artist dude says nice and rich guy says nice and it's all really nice, except for the guy that sells paint, he's screwed, but F that guy. Web link. What if I right click and save image? A heist. Opens new tab. I'm in. Furious typing. They're trying to hack us. Let me help you. Proceed to type on the same keyboard. We just need one more keyboard. Download 1 GB of RAM, that will do the trick. CRTL Alt Delete closes all applications, closes laptop, we good, nobody hacking us now. GTA 6, NFT heist. A montage and Ocean's 1 music starts playing. Slow your roll there, hackerman. Then based on the legitimacy rules around NFTs, you only have an object that looks like the original. You still don't actually own that artwork because you don't have the token that is attached to the artwork. So I can still take a picture. This is the best quick summary I've seen after reading so many articles, spending a whole lot of time explaining the term fungible and all the weird other things people are attaching to NFTs. It's also extremely misleading. NFTs don't actually have anything to do with ownership, people only say it does because it justifies the spending of the money. NFTs are more similar to those companies that sell certificates to land plots on the moon. No one owns the moon, but some people decided one day to start a company that would let people pretend they own a part of the moon, so they sold certificates to say that you own a part of the moon, with the catch being that the company is the only entity in the world that recognizes the validity of that certificate. If you look at the contents of an NFT, it actually points to the URL of a file that is hosted on the NFT company's server. So if the company shuts off their servers, then NFT owners just own URLs to 404 pages, they can't even verify what file it is they bought anymore. Furthermore, nothing stops anyone from taking any image off of the internet and selling the NFTs to it. And furthermore, nothing stops anyone from taking an image and selling the NFTs on various different NFT websites. Every NFT website has their own certificates of authority that they hand out, which again, only they recognize as valid. I don't want to call it a scam, but it's extremely disingenuous and misleading, especially given the way people talk about it. So I'll repeat it for emphasis sake, NFTs have nothing to do with ownership. They don't even grant you any legal rights. If you print out an image you own the NFT to onto a t-shirt, the artist can sue you. NFTs are just certificates essentially saying you like a file on the internet. It's like buying the first comment, it's useless, it doesn't provide anything, and most people just roll their eyes at you. How much for this comment? How much for this comment? Damn. I got to have this comment too. How much? But if you give me $11 jillion, I'll give you that comment. Web link. Still works as a tax scam, so it fulfills its only purpose. BRB, going to go sell NFTs of the moon. This is almost the complete picture. The only part missing is why people buy something like this. Almost no one buying NFTs for such insane amounts actually cares about what image or tweet that NFT symbolizes. It's pure FOMO feeding into itself. There are news stories about people buying an NFT for $1,000, then days later that NFT is worth hundreds of thousands or millions. When you see a story like that, it's hard to avoid feeling a twinge of envy. What if that had been you? All of a sudden buying literally nothing for $1,000 seems like a bargain, because you can maybe resell that nothing for 100x the price. To be honest, this actually has a lot in common with traditional collectibles like stamps, coins, rare baseball cards, or old paintings. A lot of the value prescribed to those objects is based on the expectation of value assessed by other people. The actual utility or artistic value of those objects isn't as important as what people may pay in 10 years. So it's just comic book speculation or Beanie Babies all over again? Did the last 19 bubbles not teach us this lesson well enough? This isn't even the first crypto bubble either. Look up CryptoKitties for something similar that happened 3 years ago. Hell, look at Dogecoin right now. It skyrocketed in price, relative to what it was, and now you have so many people being led on that they're going to get rich buying it. In reality, they're just the bag holders for people pumping and dumping. I learned more in these 5 minutes than all month listening to people talk about NFTs. Thanks, cuss. Except for the guy that sells paint, he's screwed, but F that guy. Have you seen his prices? It's like $5 a tube. Highway robbery. A way of calling dibs on images you may or may not actually own, and you can sell the dibs to other people, and each time you do it uses as much electricity as a whole stadium on game day. I hate everything about that. But, like, dibs. That's worth it. 4 effing pixels? Containment breach. 2319. SCP-096 leaking escaping again? It's going to be a GIF, and not only will it F up the economy, news outlets will never settle on whether it is pronounced with a hard or soft G. It's obviously pronounced like ginger or gift. Since a bat can fly and a boat depends on water, so the next one should be land-related. Volcanic eruption it is then. Anyone checked on Yellowstone lately? Exactly what I thought, laughing out loud. Multiplication sign, Earth, multiplication sign, fire, black check mark, water, black check mark, wind. Volcano? Someone lighting a match in the wrong place? Earthquake? Landslide blocking a transportation corridor? Heart, obviously. Captain Planet is fed up with us, and gets his revenge. Is that Ted Turner on a zipline? Oh God, it's Pompeii all over again. Tsunami, then meteor, then solar flare, then the aliens will finally be ready to land and harvest the fruits of our labor. Buffalo prolapse disorder. I'm putting a tenner on buffalo prolapse disorder being the land-based affliction. That's a great name for a grindcore band. Sounds like an intro to the next Avatar series. I guess we should be really worried when it gets to fire. That's the final chapter. Hell on Earth. Remember what happened to California? That but across the world when temperatures rise. Wasn't Australia on fire not too long ago too? Recent one is flood. And brush fires before it. Aussies getting all the elements. Geez, Australia. How come Mother Earth lets you be attacked by 2 nations? She's too scared to go near it too. And venomous animals. So, that's nature element, right? I don't suppose anyone cares. Argentina is also on fire. A huge part of the Patagonia is on fire. That's where our forests are. Sounds about right. Laughing my butt off. So according to the historical literature of the Avatar series, we have one more economic collapse to hit before the climate crisis. The Doomslayer would like to know your location. Flaming comet, destroys all satellites. Nervously eyes Yellowstone. Come on Mother Earth, do it. You ain't got the balls. I see what you did there. I was once on a tour near Mount Rainier and the guide said something to the effect, she has a cold exterior but a warm heart. I think I was the only one that caught it because the delivery was so bad. We started with fire in Australia, Brazil, and California. Then we had the bat pandemic. Now the canal. That's fire, air, water. Correct order, so Earth definitely has to be next. Does the Iceland volcanoes count as fire or Earth? Everything crashed when the Fire Nation attacked. I mean, the Fire Nation has already invaded. Global warming. My cabbage. Land-related A? How about an oil crisis? Isn't there a forest burning right now? Isn't there always? Major earthquake that drops California and its shipping hubs into the ocean. Well, people have been disappointed that the pandemic we got wasn't a zombie apocalypse, but we can't rule that out yet. Land already happened though. Influenza came from land animals. Space should be next. Alien invasion or sun flares causing major communication outages. Well, we've already had a bat in a boat, so clearly the next economic crashes will be due to, a bit, the 33rd one, in particular. A bet, probably of the form oh come on, there's no way they'd run that guy in 2024. A boot, some sort of footwear-related ecological collapse. Or maybe just a crisis in Canada. A but, I don't know, an outbreak of cholera maybe? It's going to be unpleasant, whatever it is. Web link. A bot. This one stands a pretty good chance of being it. This one. Judgment Day. But it's not Skynet coming for us. All those fake reviews on Amazon become sentient. They've seen humanity's habits on the net, and decided we have to go. It stinks that Amazon has no reason to take those down. The amount of people who buy a piece of crap and then return it are going to be far outweighed by those who do and don't. Symbiotic relationship. The crap sells, and Amazon gets its cut. It's like mob protection. Amazon does a lot to enable those crap sellers. Here's a good article on it. The interesting part to me is when talking to genuine product sellers, it's practically a full-time job for them to keep counterfeits of their product off of Amazon, and not let them take over their listing. Web link. A butt is also a container for aging alcohol in, notably sherry and scotch, so alcohol-related crises are also in play here. A bet, r/Wall Street bets? They nearly did it. Reddit link. The trend is also add a letter, so it could be Borat or bloat. Note to self, if bored in retirement in 2038, can make a ton of money fixing people's bits. A bit, the 33rd one, in particular. The 2038 bug. I'm pretty sure that's only for 32-bit systems. Although I'm sure, there's probably still a few of those running in 2038. All systems that express time as a 32-bit signed integer. Network protocols, on disk formats etc. can use a 32-bit representation even if the rest of the system is already a 64-bit system. Is it going to be a big deal? I was not around for Y2K, but from people I know it sounded like a big deal. How does Y2.038K stack up? Nothing actually happened during Y2K, but from what I've heard, that's because a lot of work went into fixing old systems. Without that work, it would have been a disaster. I would expect the format that is vulnerable to the 2038 bug to be much more common today than formats vulnerable to the Y2K bug were in 2000, but possibly not more common than the Y2K vulnerable formats in 1983. So it's hard to tell how much software will need fixing. The time unit since epoch format is not going away, but 32-bit signed seconds are increasingly being replaced with 64-bit seconds/milliseconds/microseconds, punting the problem sufficiently far into the future that nobody currently alive has to worry about it. I'll be stocking up on cans, water, fuel etc. not because I expect crap to definitely hit the fan, but because using up a bunch of canned food over the following years isn't a problem if nothing happens, and if crap does hit the fan, it's a good thing to be able to survive for 2 weeks while someone unoffs the power grid. Saying 64-bit seconds will last long enough is the understatement of the century. 32-bit signed seconds last from 1970 to 1970, plus 231/86,400 seconds/day, 365.25 days/year, equals year 2038. 64-bit would last from 1970 to 1970, plus 263/86,400 seconds/day, 365.25 days/year, equals year 292,271,025,015. I sure hope we're still not using 2020 legacy systems at that time. Edit. By the way, the 2038 problem will be gradual, not sudden. The problem occurs with representing times in 2038, including even if that's in the future. In fact, there have already been documented issues due to this as early as 2006. Web link. I keep a comfy stock of toilet paper on hand now. Never prepped anything before, but after this year, there's a 5-gallon water tank in the fridge and the pantry is stacked with roughly 2 weeks of canned food. It feels stupid to not be prepared after all the crap we've seen go wrong. Silicon shortage. Bat, air. Boat, water. Silicon, earth. Checks out. Just leaving fire. Super volcano time. Yellowstone, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Man joking about Yellowstone isn't even funny. Crap scares me. If that scares you, don't look up Long Valley Caldera, California, or Campi Flegrei, directly under Naples, Italy. Probably the scariest is Campi Flegrei. If that goes, COVID will look like a piece of cake. Yellowstone is not, knocking on wood, all that close to a major eruption. Campi Flegrei is way more active. As a Pacific Northwest resident, Mount Rainier. I lived at the base 20 years ago and found all the warnings funny. Nowadays. Just a sitting duck. Did you check with California and Australia? Imagine losing to sand. I hate sand, it's coarse, rough and irritating and it gets everywhere. There's no silicon shortage, but rather an unprecedented high demand, home office, more time for gaming, PS5, that lead to a shortage. Chip manufacturers are currently producing at capacity, and not at a lower rate because of a silicon shortage. And before you mention the automobile industry, they planned wrong. They thought we might buy less cars because of the pandemic, but in fact, we buy more, because nobody wants to deal with public transport nowadays. By logical extension, Borat is next. Bat greater than boat greater than Borat. Borat next subsequent movie film, creation of Armageddon causing device in American regime to crash economy for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. And it'll win 8 Oscars. Holy crap. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.